Before I begin this video, I think it's important to let you know that this video is not about changing your mind about the US. This video is really about a child who had getting to the US and getting a green card almost as their dream for as long as they can remember. But they're starting to realize that there's better things out there. There's better countries out there that would basically give them much better return for their investment. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. See, we all know that US is actually one of the paramount destinations. If you want to study abroad, I don't think you should think past the US in a lot of cases. Of course, it depends on what your end goal is. If your end goal is residence, citizenship, etc., then yeah, okay, Canada comes into the picture, UK also nowadays. So it depends, right? It depends on who you are, what you do. Australia comes into the picture. So really, I think that these countries and comparing them, it's a lot of work, and for everyone it may not actually be the same answer. But when it comes to settling overseas, going to a different country, creating wealth, investing, right? I mean, dude, look, you've been working for 3, 5, 7 years now. You have some money saved up. You have to invest it somewhere, right? Would investing that money in the US get you the best return? Would it basically be the best possible choice? That's what I want to talk about in this video. And I think that the arguments I'm giving you right over here, they are so valid, so on point in most cases. They would actually make you rethink that. So before continuing, I just want you to know that that's not really the purpose. I don't want you to rethink your goal. I don't want you to change whatever you have been moving towards. But if you're watching this video, please keep these things in mind, because these are certainly things that happen, and they would certainly be there in your life also. Once you are in the US, once you are holding that green card, these 3 things will actually haunt you. So here's why I think that I do not want a green card any longer. Point number 1, once you get the green card, it takes you 5 years to get citizenship. Now, what is wrong with that? 5 years is good enough, right? No, a lot of times it may take more than 5 years. It may take 15 for some people, and a green card is valid for only 10. So you have to reapply, get it extended. Anyway, that's not an issue, okay, right? I mean, we are of course in it for the long term, and if you're staying in the US, that's completely fine. I mean, 5 years is not that bad, right? Think again. Because your green card can be revoked. If you've been given one, don't think that you are golden. Your green card can be taken back. And the reasons could be anything. For instance, 2 of the reasons that I'm going to cite in this point are that you travel internationally a lot. You're going overseas a lot, right? And that's one of the biggest reasons. The second reason is that you stayed outside the US for more than 180 days. Now, it's not sure shot that you will get it revoked, but a lot of cases, most cases in fact, if you're doing this, your green card is revoked. And I've seen people already, in the race of this thing that, oh, I want to get a citizenship. I have a green card. Now I'm going to stay in the US. I can't move out for the next 5 years. They won't even take a trip to visit their family. And is it really worth it for 5 years? I don't think so. I mean, what am I getting out of it? Hence, one thing we have established is that the green card is not your solution to having permanent residence in the US. You may still have to go away. You may still have to go back to your own country, to some other country, right? That is certainly a possibility. Green card does not deny that and can be taken away from you in a lot of cases. We'll actually come back to this in point number 3. But for now, I'm going to move on to point number 2, which of course is the biggest con that I see right over here in this scheme. And that is that you pay much higher taxes as a resident. What does that mean? The green card basically means that you are a resident. There's non-residents, people who are in the US temporarily, to study, to work on the OPT, right? To do things that basically, are temporary, that they will have to leave the US after a point of time. Now, that's one. But there are residents on the other hand. But if you have a green card, what that means is that you are a permanent resident. Basically, you're a resident. But again, like I mentioned, that's not exactly permanent, is it? Either way, what happens over here is that you would be paying much higher taxes than non-residents. If you don't believe me, go ahead, Google and find out the exact tax rates for non-residents versus residents, and you'll actually find out what I'm talking about. On top of that, in some cases, you are also prone to double taxation. That means you pay taxes not only in the US, but also in your country in some cases. Yes, there are some schemes that, okay, these 2 countries have treaties, US and your country has a treaty that, okay, double taxation should not happen. But I'll tell you a secret. In a lot of cases, it still happens and there's not much you can do about it. And if that's not enough for you, let me give you the next pointer, which is that you pay taxes on your worldwide income to the IRS. What is your worldwide income and why should you be concerned? Okay, let's say that you are someone who is from Brazil, right? And you move to the US, you have a green card now. Now that you are a permanent resident over there, and let's say that you came back to Brazil also, or maybe you have a small knitting shop in Brazil or coffee shop in Brazil that's making you some money on the side. According to the IRS, not only do you have to pay taxes on your US job, that okay, you're working in the US as a software engineer, so you pay taxes on your salary. No, that's not enough. You have that coffee shop back home in Brazil, so you should pay taxes on the income you earned from that coffee shop in Brazil. So you have to pay taxes not to the Brazilian government, you have to pay those taxes to the IRS, to the US. And that's what I do not understand. Why is that necessary? US is actually one of the only countries which actually impose this worldwide taxation. I'm not quite sure if I know about all the other countries that are doing it. In fact, I haven't heard of them. If you have, you can let me know in the comments down below. But personally, I just feel that this scheme doesn't work for me. Like, why would I want to do that? So my argument is, why not go ahead and pick something like a tax haven where you have to pay maybe 1, 2, 3, 5% tax, not more tax than that. And a lot of countries you don't even have to pay any tax. So why not pick one of those countries? I mean, if you have already gotten education from one of the best countries out there, let's say the US for all I care, right? You got your education from there, you worked over there for your OPT, you took care of your loans, everything is done over there, right? Now the next step is to create wealth. You're trying to create wealth, you're trying to create a family. And of course, what that means is you need all the money that you can get, right? At this point of time. Well, if the US government is going to basically charge you so much income tax, and not only on their income, but on your worldwide income, I don't really see that happening now. So why not choose a place that doesn't tax you at all? And I've talked about some of those places. There's actually a lot of them. If you want, I can make a separate video on that for you. You can comment down below and I'll definitely make a complete list, give you the pros and cons and all my research, because that's what this channel is going to be all about. It's about helping you make smarter decisions, really understanding what you're doing. If you want to go to the US, no problem, but keep these points in mind because these will happen. Point number 3, final point. Remember how I talked about your green card can be revoked for some of the reasons? Well, international travel is not one of them. Congratulations. If you committed a felony, you can say goodbye to your green card. In fact, in a lot of cases, even a misdemeanor can get you deported. What is a misdemeanor? Misdemeanor is basically a small issue, small mistake that happened, right? Small, not exactly a crime or a big offense. It's a small issue, small thing that you did that's okay, that's not very, very good, okay? Sometimes, you know, instead of getting a pat on your hand, what you're getting is a deportation from USCIS. Hence, the one thing is for sure, for 5 years at least, you know, that is for at least 5 years, if you're able to get your citizenship in 5 years, that is, which mostly does not happen, but either way, for the 5 years, you should not be a part of basically anything that labels you as an offender, a criminal in any case. And this is not limited to actually murdering someone that, you know, okay, you basically killed someone, no. Or you basically sold drugs, no. It can be a small issue as well. And just because of that, if you basically, someone else files a court case on you and they take you to court and you get found guilty, even though you may not be guilty, you know, sometimes these things happen, right? You may not get the right decision. Not only do you have to serve the government a sentence for that, I'm not saying that you will be put in jail. Let's say that you did something really small and you have to basically go to a facility, you have to work over there for 5 weeks, maybe on weekends, whatever, right? But that can actually be reason enough to deport you for the USCIS. So you see how you're kind of walking all around knives, just in case, oh, you know, you'll think twice about doing this. Hey, if I make this mistake, what happens? Do I have to go back to my own country? You know, can I still be in the US if I do this or if I do that? Can I change employers? What happens if an employer files a case on me? You know, something like that happens, that okay, I basically participated in some data theft even though I didn't do it. You're always scared of losing your green card. And that life isn't really all that much for me. I mean, hey, I don't know. I just don't think that's what I would like to have, like a knife hanging over my head. No, thank you. So is the life of fear worth it? I'm not quite sure. But at the end of the day, for now, you know, what I think is that there's so many better countries out there that help you build wealth, that help you support not only your work that you're doing, not only that you're working in a company as an employee, that's fine. They also help support you actually establish your own business on the side or do some freelancing on the side. All of these things, you know, some governments actually do support you with that. And that's something that you don't really get with the US a lot of times. So again, like I said, the important thing over here to remember is this is just my opinion. It's not something that I am imposing on you. It's something to think about and know before you actually make your move and, you know, think that US is your permanent destination. A lot of students I know, they're going to the US thinking that, hey, I'm going to stay there permanently. But a lot of times what happens is this life of, you know, kind of being very, very careful all the time, and okay, you know, I have to get my OPT, now I have to file for an H1B, I hope I get it this year, if not, then next year you'll try again, next year again you're trying, and before you know it, your OPT is over, and you know, you're all messed up just because you're thinking, oh, my life is all messed, I couldn't get the H1B, or you know, my employer did not file it right, etc., etc. Or even if you get it, you know, you get the H1B, then you're in the race for a green card. After a green card, you're in the race for a citizenship. It's a long race. If you want to run it, definitely be prepared. That's all this video is about. And if you like the information that I'm providing over here, it's really just, I feel that this is just mature advice that you guys need to hear. And if you like the video, please comment down below, let me know what you think. I think that this is something that I would really like to discuss with you guys, right? And of course, not only for you, for me also. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you like this video. By the way, lot of similar content coming up on Instagram. If you're interested in studying, working, living overseas, go ahead, give us a follow over there. And I'll see you in the next one. I think this one has been pretty long already. Goodbye and take care. Thank you so much for tuning in.